what you've got to look at is let's look back at the talks. What we have to realize that this was never going to be an agreement after 47 years of animosity between each party. So this is a breaking of the ice. At the end of the day, two sides pushed their ideas forward, they pushed their demands forward, and what they wanted was a little leeway on either side. Nobody was really budging. Iran was not budging on its sovereignty and its right for uh, uranium enrichment, at least for domestic use and power production. And that's its right under the IAEA rules that it's a member of. The United States is safeguarding other issues because it does not want Iran to push forward with its nuclear development and has really pushed a very hard red line that there should be zero enrichment, which basically negates any position that Iran has. So they're pushing both sides. And I felt before that each side was going to find it intransigent of the other. Now, what's happening now is the enforcement of those rules, the enforcement of the idea that they have to push the Iranians. The United States has to push the Iranians into a position where they would accept at least a little leeway. Now, we still have a ceasefire in place. And the idea of that ceasefire is that there's still time to think about what's happening. And I think what's going to happen is when people go away from the intense discussions that they had in Islamabad, which was a success, actually, by the way, for allowing a meeting to occur, and Pakistan facilitated something that nobody thought was possible for the leaderships of both parties to meet. Um, this blockade that you're talking about is an enforcement of their position of the United States, and the closure of the Hormuz Strait is the enforcement of Iranian position. Now, all we can wish for right now is that because two parties, militaries are going to be engaged somehow, that no conflagration occurs and it doesn't result in an escalation, which will be the return of actual hostilities between the United States and Iran. And then the general region will suffer. And because it's a systemic issue, because of the global supplies that come through the Hormuz Strait, that would lead to further problems around the world economically. We do not want that. I don't think anybody wants this, but it's a strategic game. It's not even chess. This is a game of Go that the Chinese play. This is a game of outmaneuvering each other and containing the other. And this is a very highly intelligent game. The United States president alone is not the one. It is the whole establishment is behind him in this respect, that they're maneuvering and they have very bright people, and both sides have that. So it's a matter of judging this brinksmanship that is occurring here. And I think the world is in a tension because it could just erupt in violence again. And what we need to realize is that this intransigence needs to settle a little bit rather than hard measures being used by both sides and to go back into a violent state again. This is what no side wants, but they have to pressure the other to at least give way. And this is another negotiation. You never go into a negotiation with a lower hand. You have a tight, strong hand. Both sides have this. There is going to be a time for digestion of this information and digestion what the other wants. And then there will be talks within each party to think about a step by step process of understanding, maybe. And we're hoping that no external party, such as Israel, will be a spoiler in this. This is the biggest concern, I think, for even the United States to find trust in Iran. But Iran did not find trust in the United States, primarily because of past behavior. And this is where the issue lies now. We have to be very wary of what happens and how the enforcement occurs. And if there is a conflagration between both militaries, this can massively erupt again to full scale war. And this is one of the things that you need to avoid, and we must enforce it through the international community that we are still in a ceasefire. Pakistan has been allowed by both parties to allow them to come together after 47 years. And I think that's very important for the international community to recognize that we are a trusted partner for both sides. We are a mediator to allow this to occur, and we must still play a part. in understanding and regulating to some extent, and um, signaling on both sides that there are certain extreme events that should not occur. And we try to make sure that both sides can understand this and slowly bring the tension down and the temperature down.